Holy smoly, that is not what I expected. And I'm just like, this is how you make one this is how you make one assembler. It's clean, it's nice, it's beautiful. If you had a chance to change your fate, would that still technically be your fate? Because it's supposed to be, like, by definition set in stone. Anyway, we're back here, Automation Nation, going into the space age, on our way very soon off of this rock. But for right now, we're continuing to build up our last few items and get a little bit more in terms of extra resources spread across the map so we can kind of automate things. Oh, we do have, however, a little attack here. We're going to be going ahead and dropping the tank that we built in the previous episode, filling that bad boy up and seeing what it can do real quick, because we already have yeah, some activity here. Hopefully no robots will be harmed in the process here. I do have some turrets, but they're not that close by. And then I do think I could just be putting in some ammo and finishing off that way. So let's go ahead and take care of that. We did not lose any robots from what I can tell, so we should be able to hang on to it here. It says 28, unfortunately. So yeah, okay, a couple guys down. We will mourn them, but meantime, logistics says that we aren't going to be able to replace them just this moment. We do have some rails in our inventory. We're going to go ahead and take care of that. That'll hopefully help our train path issues. Now, yeah, our pollution has spread out quite a bit, as you can see, and is being eaten by these groups that are just continuing to encroach on our space, at least as we have declared it. So we're going to put our flag down. We're going to go ahead and head around these nearby bordering colonies, hives, if you will, and go ahead and take care of business. So I usually use the explosive can shells, but I'm going to actually try these. I believe they are, just looking at the numbers, really good. I don't know if they got buffed in 2.0 or if they're just way stronger than I realized, but they show a lot of potential. And I believe I have grenades somewhere. Here they are. So I could also use those to kind of have a as a secondary. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, we can use the grenades to kill off the big ones, try to make enough movement that we don't tell our bots to go get involved in something they probably shouldn't in terms of repairs. And you see we're already doing huge amounts of damage to these buildings here. Even looks like it kind of pierces a little bit, which is kind of cool. And then, yeah, we can also switch to our live ammunition when we need to. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. Cool. All right, that's one hive down. We will need to make some repairs here, but overall, no harm done. All right. So as far as which ones are close, yeah, we can take down this hive, this hive. Don't know if we want to go beyond the wall right here. There's a big old cliff here, but we definitely want to take out the ones on the that are close to our current pollution level. I don't think we'll exceed it too much in the near future. Hard to say for sure, but I don't think we're expanding our setup that much more than we already have. We'll see. We'll see. We do have some friends over here. Again, grenades are going to help out with the little ones, and bombs away. Oh, gotta switch our gun. There we go. That makes more sense. All right. Yeah, a little harder to aim this, but it just, yeah, it kind of looks like it's doing a bit of line damage, which is awesome. And all clear. No problem at all. That was very efficient. Yeah, don't have all the cannons shells in the world, so we'll have to be smart about how we use them, but yeah, overall looks like we're doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and put these magazines in here. Alrighty. So yeah, we are currently, as far as the game state goes, just looking to replenish a few of our key resources, iron and oil being the big ones that we need to expand on a little bit in order to make sure that we have the throughput to build all the stuff that we want going into the space age, going into the space platforms. Those are going to be key things that we build up here. Actually, I could just go ahead and, while I'm here, just drop off a little radar that was planned to go out. And that'll help give us a nice visual on the side. There was that train up top that I could have probably refilled, but honestly, we have plenty of rocks down bottom. I don't expect we're going to need any right now. And if I just refill it temporarily with, like, you know, a stack or two of coal, then it's just going to be asking for it again here in the near future. Now, I don't know if I killed off this colony here. Maybe I skipped it, and we'll just have to defend ourselves once again here once we get around to it. But in the meantime, we do see some activity here. Nice little squad heading in to attack us. We'll just make sure we have the opening salvo here, the first shot against them. And we can just kind of do some damage. That should have killed it. Very close to it. But there we go. That'll work. Oh, nice. Yeah, you can definitely pierce through. I don't know if it does, like, it just adds up the damage. Oh, don't want to hit anything. Rocks and cliffs are your only enemy here as a tank. Everything else you can pretty much survive with your HP and your repairs, but you run into a rock or especially a cliff and you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything, so keep that in mind. As we run across, so far, so good. We have 48 shells left here. Yeah, so I always thought that, you know, the cannon shell was the single target one and the explosive cannon shell was the kind of area of effect one, but it looks like this one has an area of effect. It's just in a line. So if you can get some good piercing shots off, maybe you can do some damage here. Easy peasy with the grenades, and get a good hit in. Nice, double hit. We like the double hit. Oh, these guys are a little tankier. That's fine, though. We run into the rock, but we'll be fine. Because he's a great wrestler. Or he was. It's been a while. I wonder if being in my own splash radius for grenade even matters with the health pool in the tank, or if it's kind of like able to withstand that better. We'll see. Right. Oh, another group right here. 2 hives aggroed at once was my downfall earlier in the playthrough, but seems like we're not doing too bad right now. Oh, try to get the triple shot. Nah. Too good. Yeah, okay, so it does seem like if it's a full health target, it will just absorb the full hit. But if it's partial health, it kind of has, like, you know, in card games you call it trample, or like just overkill damage, where it's like, okay, well, we pierce through that one, we still have some momentum, and that'll carry over to the next target, which is cool. Doing pretty good here. Definitely worth killing off this one too. Yeah, I definitely wish I'd gotten that one just for peace of mind, but I actually don't think it's going to be causing too much grief here. Immediately, we do have some turrets set up here as well, so we'll keep going. Keep on keeping on. Besides, we can make some upgrades to our tank before we make our next foray out. I would love to get the flamethrower online and see really how much damage that can do. All right, cannons ready. Oh, and rocks in my way. That's not what we want to see. Take the worm out, so it's not a big deal. Protect the robots. All right, we're good. Another rock. I gotta watch out for those a little bit more. That was a waste, but we're fine. We're fine. No concerns here. All right, that'll do it. Damaged, but not destroyed. That's what we like to see. And I'd say that's good enough. I don't think this is going to, even when we tap into the oil here, I don't think it's going to cause any real issues there. Might be wrong, but we can always address it again. Didn't really take too long to go around the world here and just clear out some of the outer hives here with the tank. It's definitely been more efficient than without it. Just kind of scaling up our potential for combat. Ooh, that's a lot. I didn't realize how many trees there were there. I thought it was going to be a quick drop off, but, you know, So yeah, right now I'm running on just the one exoskeleton, and I've got more power generation just so I could kind of keep these guys going. But realistically, I probably should close out one roboport. It is nice because it actually increases the construction area as well as the quantity of bots that you can control at a time, which is something I did not realize. But you know, we're over here. So yeah, I have water set up over here. I was going to make concrete in this area, but I don't actually know if that's going to be the best because we do need to load it in with iron ore, and I don't really want to be sending iron ore all the way over here. Iron plates? Sure. Iron ore? Not necessarily. So we might be end up using the concrete over by the ore drop-off and try to get water over that way. So we'll see. But yeah, for right now, we want to really just tap into this oil and bring it over. So that's what I'm going to do. We do need to make some drills for that. So we'll go ahead. Doesn't take too long to craft those up, and we got plenty of pipes to work with here as we move along. Where is this stuff, though? It's harder to see. All right, so there's some over here. A little bit to the north. And then, yeah, that one down there. I think that covers just about all of it. We'll see. Of course, electricity will need to be run as well. That shouldn't be too far because we do build it into our train setup. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have all of them covered nicely. And the nice thing about our refinery setup is that we don't have to like make a new one for each instance of oil that we pull together. We just go ahead and bring it over to the main place here and just pipe it into the crude line. So we will need to bring it to the north. And we'll go ahead and start here. I believe I remember that they might actually have turned this into something that you can click and drag as like a smart place. I like that. That's really nice, actually. Saves a lot of time, even if I might be cutting a few of the entities here, and probably don't need that many, to be fair. Let's go ahead and call it right here, these two. And then go ahead and take it to the west. In much the same way. So this would be ideal. And then, yeah, just keep doing this. Even through the trees, we can do that. Yeah, just to get past all this stuff without overlapping any of the operations. Yeah, just do it like this with holding shift. That's actually much better. Nice. Okay, I'll do that then. And then, you know, grenades. Easy peasy. All right, so this is where I wanted it. Maybe a little bit further north than I planned, but whatever. It all works out. Let me just bring it down south from here. I need to be able to see what we're doing. There we go. Okay, we are actually off by 1 because our water is taken up there, so we'll just go ahead and adjust that slightly. Ever so slightly. Cool. And that is correct, right? Pipeline overextended. What does that mean? So is there a maximum distance between... Because I know that we're supposed to put power into this. But what about the overextended part? Is that something I can look up real quick? I'm going to pause for just a second. All right, so my initial interpretation of this is that it requires more like pumps at a certain interval to make this work. It used to be like you'd want a pump every 15 entities, and so that could be a pain if you were doing overground pipes. But it looks like there might be more to it now, where it just in general over a certain distance threshold. I'm not sure if I have the power poles. Oh yeah, I do have them set up here, so I can go ahead and continue to ghost those up this way. And then, of course, extend from there to here to get the power online for the oil rig. And then hopefully from there can pull things together. We have a vehicle hanging out over here. I'll go ahead and grab that just to keep things moving at the right pace. Even if we do leave a few robots behind, they will catch up as we're just going in a little circle here. Okay, fine. Come on. Get the rock out of the way. There we go. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll supply pipes and the power necessary to keep those pipes rolling as needed. Can also definitely start pumping this oil too, if we need to, or just kind of leave it and add it in, you know, not too long after. Never hurts either way. Might need one more. Yeah, might need to help out that guy up top here. A little bit of this action. But as you can see, it's not solved the overextended pipe issue. So I'm curious at what point is the pipe overextended? Because I didn't see it really pop up until we connected the last little bit there. So like if I just have, you know, this much distance here, for example, stopping here anyways, and I say that's disconnected, neither one is complaining now. Obviously the only one that should be is this one here, but let's go ahead and make a pump. Oh, of course we don't have an engine unit. Do we by chance? I think we have the materials. I think we can go ahead and just make one on the fly here. Is this not plugged in? Please. Thank you. All right, so this will make the engine unit for me, so I can make a pump or a few. And yeah, we'll go ahead and slide our pieces in here, pipes as well. Allowing me to make a few pumps and yeah, avoid that issue entirely, I hope. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll have to look up what the number is as far as like how. I think it's probably based on grids and grid distance now rather than entities, but it does seem like there is a certain amount of pipage that has to come through if we're going to be able to stretch out a fluid line. So go ahead and see here if I do this and then I put a pipe in or a pump in. Where are we at? Go ahead and throw it on the bar as well. There we go. Give it some power. And now we are not overextended on the oil and we are good to go. And we do have just the one pump here. So if we want to go ahead and just connect the other one, give it a few turrets to protect it, I think that'll all work out. So we'll go ahead and attach a power line here. They are pretty close by, so. Okay, and how many do we have here? It looks like 5, so no problem at all to go ahead and fill those up. And give it a nice substation to power it all up, and then set up our pipes to connect all the material together. And of course, we'll just be combining it with the current pipeline just to the slightly to the north. No problems there. While we're here, I suppose, and we're not getting the overextend. Oh, I guess we haven't really connected everything yet. We'll see in a little bit if we have to add another pump to it or not. But at least for the moment, we figure we might as well just take care of these guys real quick. Assuming that we don't get in too much hot water ourselves. And fire in what I would hope is the right direction. They have the high ground. I don't know. This is going to be tough. We'll go ahead and switch them to the close range munitions. And then, yeah, cannon fire from over here. It's weird. This one's kind of overlapping the cliff a bit. Top and bottom side of the cliff, but it'll all work out, I'm sure. There we go. Nice. A few of these robots are a little in danger, but we'll figure it out. And that should do it. Yay, no deaths this time around. You know, they're going to continue to spread. I guess if I did clear like these 5 out, it's likely that we wouldn't have to deal with any like encroachment on this side, which is kind of nice. We're gonna have to worry about setting up the turrets and all that, so I guess I can just do that real quick. Nip it in the bud. Stop the infection before it spreads. But again, our cannon count is low, so we just really need to be on the mark with these things. And not take 2 shots on the spawners when we can avoid it. That's one way to take it out. And then here's the other way. There we go. Not bad. Back to cannons, 9 shots left, at least for the basic stuff. We still have explosive munitions. We still have grenades. We actually have like higher rank, higher quality shots as well. And we could even go back to the base to get some, but I usually try to avoid the whole resupply thing if we can just do it on one minor venture. Keep it all efficient. Haven't scanned that area yet, but it looks like they still are kind of... That's our really only vulnerability right now is to the north. But it's going to be okay. Pull out the grenade pin, and there we go. Interesting geometry here. We're going to have to avoid the ocean. Or lake, or whatever you want to call it. And we'll just ram into it to finish it off. No problem at all. One more cannon shot, and then we'll use these 2. Superior alternatives. There's some stone here, but I don't expect to be using it anytime soon with what I've got up top. Yeah, so the idea is here I'm just kind of getting ahead of the spread, and that way things are easier across the board. Grenades. I do want to try out the flamethrower, but I'm forgetting that. Oh, I could just spam that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was forgetting that I'm actually out of cannon fire. And we'll just use the explosive ones from this point forward, which works not really in the close range situation. There it is. Okay. Just a little delay on it, that's all. Not bad, not bad. Avoid the cliffs, it's a big thing. Like I said, there's always the option of running straight into it as well. Nice. All right. So we're in a pretty good spot now. Completely clear in this sector. Not going to be seeing anything from the south whatsoever. It's just the west and north, and yeah, we'll take that as it comes. We don't have to jump on it right away. We'll wait until we see further activity. I imagine before we lift off to the space flight platform, or whatever it's called, we will need to cover those sides as well. Technically speaking, then we can go ahead and clear out these as well. As we shouldn't expect any problems from that side here. Cool. We're piping. Oh. There we go. Ah, I knew that was gonna happen. That's alright. Let me just... Guys, chill out. There we go. And... there we are. Alright, both lines are connected. We're feeling pretty good about that. Go ahead and finish our rail line to the east here, since we're not coming back this way for a bit. And then we can get started on building out our next set of automation lines. Though, now that I think about it, we probably should be trying to refill our coal and add the refill station so that we can make sure that all our trains are going to be operating smoothly in the current as well as long term. I think that's going to be pretty important. So we'll build up this fuel track. We're going to be setting up a little refill station over by the coal. And then, yeah, we'll actually work with this new train mechanic called interrupts, I guess, while I'm chilling here waiting for these bots to finish their deliveries here. I think we might be out of rails. There we go. We'll just go ahead and add those on. No problem. And we do have one little fellow we don't want to leave behind. All right. Hopefully that covers everything. I think you can see the bots on the map. Yeah, I set that up. Cool. And yeah, again, with these diagonals, we do not need them. They don't really do anything. They, you know, magenta, teal, connected, disconnected, doesn't really change much. So if there is one over here, we will take care of it. And it is here and here. And otherwise, yeah, we're going to be going ahead and focusing up on the trains here. So of course we need to make the station before we really can create an interrupt, but we might as well get this guy going with some early coal. So the big thing is we need to be able to make sure that there's space enough for multiple trains here. Make a multi-bay section. It's a little awkward because we already have this kind of shift here. And I also kind of like the idea of making it vertical. So I'm going to start with this, kind of go from there. We could have probably put some... There's a few ways we could actually do this. If I have a robo bay on me, I could place one down here and with the storage chest be in a pretty good spot. I could do that right now, but we'll see kind of how long it puts together. I think the more important thing is we get to designing what our intentions are here with relation to the bay itself. That's probably going to take more time than the cleanup, so to speak. There is this line here. I think this is actually going to be our best bet. As we do have a roundabout here, and if we can just jog this a little bit to the right. Dear God, please somebody in the comments let me know if there's a better way to rotate while ghosting. But if I go ahead and set the grid up here. Alright, because I know there's control, which will avoid materials, but that's not going to necessarily do exactly what I want it to. But this looks good for me. And we'll set it up here to go right past. And then the same thing here. As we get closer to it, to set it up here. Alright, we'll want spacing of 4. Bam. Alright. So that's good, and then we'll basically just want a multi loader station where they're basically waiting to take their turn in order to get into a station that we can set up here and have the coal fed to. So let me do that, work on that, think about it real quick. All right, so what we could probably do here is go ahead and just extend this down a little bit further, and then most likely want to try to make it so that there's basically every 2 there's a little bit of a bay going here, so we'll have to stretch a little bit further each time, but all in all the idea is that we'll have to empty out our inventory here. Grab a few of those rails again. That one's a little incorrect, but we'll get there. Yeah, just like this. And, you know, why not a 4th one? I think at a certain point we're going to be on, like, the space fuel, though, right? The rocket fuel, I think, can go to the trains, too, and it's probably more efficient. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's unlikely that we're going to need more than what we currently see. So... yeah, what I would do is start with, if we look at our setup here, we do like a chain signal to choose like which one is going to be the most viable option, and then kind of go from there. So it would be right after, basically the first location after the turn here. I'm kind of confused why that one isn't separate from... I guess it's not far enough along. That's the issue. It's like sharing. Because that clearly works, right? So why wouldn't this one? Because I guess... I don't know. Not too sure. I think the main point is that as long as we have enough space for 3 there, that it's going to be fine. But I had kind of assumed that we could go a little bit higher up. Because this is clearly, to me, still on this track. And then we do, you know, 1, 2, 3... right here. I guess we're just gonna have to ignore it. And that doesn't change anything. Okay, then we're gonna have to just go ahead and go with the one that makes it happy. Not sure exactly why, but this one seems to be better for segmenting it than the other. And then, yeah, we'll just need a little bit more space attached as a result. So we'll go ahead down 1 or 2 more. And that'll do it. Alright, they're all separated into their own little tracks here, and they can all combine onto the main track once we set that up. And that'll be just a little loop around at the smallest angle possible, which will be right here. I guess it might be for space conservation reasons. Maybe we want to be trying to learn how to do it so that we can have it on the inside here instead. We're burning down a lot, chopping down a lot of trees here. We'll have to keep that an eye on our inventory as that goes along. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure on the cleanest solution here, but let's say that we did it like this, and the closest point, because you can technically have them side by side without any gaps at all, but then you won't have the signal spacing, so I would still want to do it at least to this. And then in theory you have even less space to do this kind of turn here. And yeah, it does not seem to like that idea at all. But theoretically, they all just want to wait until the entire thing is full empty, so it's not that big of a deal if they all cross over a little earlier. So let's say we just break 1 there. Or is it the opposite? It needs a little bit more. Okay, so it is actually 2 down, and then it will fit better. I have to admit, have not done a lot in terms of multi-train bays. There's one example I can pull from a previous video. I'm going to take a look at one thing that I did in my Industrial Revolution playthrough, and I will be right back. Yeah, it seems like we're kind of on the right track, just doing what we were doing already. The train holding bays setup that I looked at on episode 16 of my IR3 playthrough just basically used a lot of space, and I just kind of have to be okay with using space and not like clumping everything up together. Oh, this took a whole 2 chunks of space to get this whole base set up. It's like, well, we don't have to do it over and over. Really, in Factorio, one thing that is important to remember is the space efficiency of a design is really only important if you're planning to utilize it repeatedly, like over and over. If it's just a one-off thing, I mean, it could take up this whole screen right now and it wouldn't really affect that much in the grand scheme of things. If you do need to replicate it, if it is going to be part of like a broader factory plan, then sure, I think that it is important to make sure that your spacing is pretty good. But, you know, a 1 rail station that happens to stretch out a bit further is not going to be hurting anybody, I don't think. And I'm sure there are some techniques to clean up the spacing a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think we'll be happy just to get this working and move it on. So we'll go ahead and remove these here and then try to connect it right here. Alrighty. And then of course we can go ahead and do what's going to be our loading station, similar to this one here. We can even use our blueprint right here at loading station. And you'll see we need a little bit more vertical space, so we're going to be going ahead and setting it up right here. And then figuring out what to do about this connector as a result of that. Guess we have plenty of rails already, huh? Okay. The question for me really is it possible to really, at any point in time, connect to this cleanly? And it looks like there are a lot of ways to make it work, but it is a little awkward for sure. If we went the route of bringing it all the way up to here, that looks better. It still has that big loop-to-loop though because of how much vertical space. These curves are weird. These curves are definitely weird. What if we just put it on this line explicitly? It would kind of be defeating the purpose of the roundabout, right? Do we just need to bring it further down? Is that the plan? Give it one last shot of making this work, but if I have to do a giant loop-to-loop, then I say no. This is not what we really signed up for when we made this whole setup. Yeah, so it looks like this is not going to work as intended, unfortunately. We're going to need some more space. So, undo everything there. Yeah, guess the deconstruction can go through. It's more the construction that I'm trying to avoid, as we now have to figure out how to do this with a little bit more spacing, curving a little bit later on. So do we want to just like copy this? Yeah, and then bring that further down here. Cool. And then we'll connect the lines here. With any of these crossbars taken care of. Which in theory is what we need. We'll see though. All right, back to the blueprint, loading station. There it is. All right, and we will say if we are loading, we're loading like this, most likely. I think this one would be misaligned, this one would be fine. So now with this new setup here, we want to try to connect the dots to this. And the question is, can we do it cleanly? Looks like we can. Awesome. All right. Once again, pulling in a lot. Having to move a few pieces around, but this guy can go ahead and stay right here. My bad. Alrighty. The important thing is that we have space to finish all this off, make sure it looks good. Best I can tell, we're in an okay position. And then yeah, we have this here. 2 rails. 2 chains, and then we'll just have a rail signal over here, and it'll all work out. As far as naming this station, that's going to be pretty important. And then getting a few more of these steel boxes if I'm able. Figuring out alternatives if not. Let's just do iron chest for now. It's not going to be the world. Whole point is it's all supposed to be moving anyways. Did have a connection here with some power poles that I believe I disconnected, unfortunately. Now we can pull from that over here. All right. Speedy 24. Sorry, that's not going to be right. It's going to be coal. Refuel. Okay. And the game plan is we're going to be getting, of course, the coal mine to feed into this area. Right about there should be good. Let's go ahead and say this one. Nah. If we just want to... This looks better. Okay, so we'll do it this way. Always with the space needed. We'll figure it out. Just make sure that fuel line is going along smoothly and the rest can come along as well. All right. Well, the thing is, we're not quite doing a refill station. I like it's the right idea because we're obviously putting things in the train, but we're not filling cargo. We're actually just going to be filling the top of the train. We actually don't need this at all. Because what we're going to be doing... Do we want a buffer? I guess so. We'll do a buffer. Which would mean we start it right here, right? And once again, we'll fill this thing up. There we go. All right, deal with this excess here. I mean, this kind of, I mean, yeah, the timing, the timing of the pit stop is going to be important, but like the frequency with which we're needing it is not going to be that dramatic. So we'll go ahead. We'll say this is blocked here, so we'll just use these 5. But all these, in theory, should be able to then fill the engine with the coal necessary. So now what we need to do, now that we've named the stop, is set up an interrupt, which is, I think, a new thing in 2.0. And what it is going to be doing is saying, hey, if your fuel is low, which I believe we do have a train here that is the case, then we're going to go ahead and say... refuel. If your, I guess, any locomotive fuel is coal and is less than, let's say, 20, because it definitely doesn't take more than that to do the route. I think I was about to put coal is less than coal, which is not what we're going for. Then you need to coal refuel. The weight condition being full fuel. Not all locomotives necessarily, unless it's like saying like if you have multiple engine locomotives. But let's say, let's just do fuel any and keep it at coal is greater than, and the maximum is like 150. So yeah, let's just do or equals 150, I think is appropriate. Yeah. I don't know if there's like an off stack, if for some reason it's like the inserter is trying to put in 2 at a time or something and it makes it weird. I just want to make it greater than 145 and that's fine. Yeah, and that should be it. So it basically says if it's, no. If it needs it, then it will go ahead and go to this location, is my understanding of it. And if we have to edit that, we can take a look. But yeah, we have enough space for 150. So let's go test it out. Let's go see if it will do just that. And if there are any issues with it as is. I'm going to go ahead. I have a vehicle around here, a couple of them. Car and a tank. You use the car to get to the tank, and then we'll take the tank along with as well. And yeah, I'll go ahead and drop off most of my excess here because I just don't want to deal with it right now. Ooh, the turn rate on these things is crazy. Yeah, probably don't need that anymore, but that's okay. So you see now it's sending out in the two different directions that we wanted. Should be good to go now. And we can go ahead and get in touch with... Oh, we did not connect this fully though. All right, everything else should be good to go. Technically speaking, I want to have a rail signal right here. Within the 3 mark. That's a little bit too close. This will be fine. And then grab a few of these later. And we can't drive through the trees the same we can with the tank, unfortunately. That is a no-go. So we'll go ahead and go around. The idea is that our stone wall or stone brick train is going to be our guinea pig for whether or not our interrupt is successful or needs some work. Alrighty. So if we go here and we just put in 8 fuel, what does it do? Well, if you look at the schedule, it's currently going to the stone mining. So if we look at this coal interrupt, it's less than 5 is when it goes over. Okay, so forgot about that. We'll have to just keep an eye on it and see if it is able to refill here in the near future. When it does run out of fuel, temporary coal refill. Yeah, it's already down to 3. Okay, they actually exhaust this coal a little bit faster, so I need to increase it above 5. I need to increase it to 10, because it takes, let's say even 20, because it's just like, it definitely can consume a lot more if it's very far away, and I don't want that to be the case. So, yeah, let's go. Oh. Okay, it is less than 20. For some reason, I thought it was saying 5, but I must have misread one of the others. Maybe it had 5 in its inventory, and I was interpreting that as the setting. It's definitely possible that's the case. Anyways, the idea is now we can give this interrupt to all the others. So this guy has the refill coal interrupt. We can go ahead and make sure this guy has the refill coal interrupt. And you know, he's just going about his business, but when he does drop to below 20 coal, that's when he's going to go ahead and switch it up. You can say the same. This one is my iron train. This one is the... should already have it. No, it does not. So this one is the stone brick train. This one is the stone train. Good. Okay. This one has it. Okay, so all 3 trains should have it now. And we can replicate that in the future. Next item, a couple more that I really need to get to. One of them is going to be increasing our iron supply, and another is going to be making sure we have the proper amount of copper, which is going to be very important. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the copper first, since it seems like we have basically run out, and it's stopping our tech chain entirely. These guys aren't really moving at all. They're blocked up because this chest is full. So I kind of set this up for myself. This was a problem based on this whole quality thing. I do want to still take advantage of quality, but it's just we're not at a place where we can really design around it right now. I do think that there are going to be things in the future that I really want to have, you know, the rare materials to work with. It's probably excessive. We can go ahead and drop a few of those back in. But I do need a few of these to get the chest going. And yeah, what I would like to do then is set this up. To continue to fill it up and collect, especially the rare copper ore, and then at some point in the future, we're actually going to be utilizing that better. Right now, it's just kind of on standby. And it makes me wonder how close we are to getting iron completely blocked up in the much the same way. Right now, we have this chest set up right here. And you'll see this one is just about full. So we're going to have to go ahead and take a look at that in the near future as well. Obviously, it feels like a band-aid, but it's the two options are either I take out all the quality modules, or and don't disregard rarity entirely right now, or I fill it and move it along to the next best option, because at the end of the day, I just have other things that I need to do before I really get into like full quality lines. Anywho, that's why copper has been as bad as it's been. But just to make sure that we're getting the right amount of material, we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves up to our bus over here. I really do need to construct some dedicated roads or just find myself a more open area to drive. But anywho, we got some processing units. Could probably drop a few more of these in too. But more importantly, what I want to be doing right now, I said, I think in an earlier episode that I didn't plan on backtracking like this, but I really do want to make sure that these copper cables are still able to build, and I don't have to like redo the entire blue line immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of this and send it down as far south as I need to make that happen. Even if it is backtracking a bit. So we can go over here. And then with one more this way, let's just go ahead and stop it right here. And I don't think there's any harm in maneuvering it in this area. And we will just need to go ahead and think about the best way to approach it, but I think we're in a perfectly fine spot here where we can then just backtrack it probably down to here. And I just want to double check if there's anything that relies on it being on one side, but honestly, if it does, then that's outdated and needs to be fixed. So we're just going to fill it all the way through and make sure there's no issues that come up. I think the only thing was like there was a chest that was putting things on the line, which obviously can be limited by that, but that's not really my concern. So we should be good. This will all flow in. Yeah, it'll be on that half. That'll flow in here. Yeah, this chest is now invalid. And yeah, it's on the correct half and has stopped at this point here. So that is where we're at right now for copper. That covers a lot of issues from before. Do we need grenades? Of course we need grenades. Who doesn't need grenades? How about the explosives? Gotta have more explosives. That's going to be over here. Some rare 1600 damage cannon shells. We'll stick with the more common variant for now. But nice to see it. And then, yeah, now that we've kind of resupplied our oil here, there's a couple things I do want to change up. First of all, I want to shut down light oil cracking for the moment, because I do want to be utilizing our light oil here in the future. Another thing is going to be that I want to go ahead and fill up canisters with crude oil for some flamethrower ammo. The steel plates being all the way down here. We'll have to double check that we're doing this in the right area. It's going to be easier to send something physical than something liquid, so I'm going to go ahead and just filter it off right here. Double check that we're not causing any issues. All right. Then just have, I believe it should be a chemical plant. Yeah, a chemical plant to do this. Right over here. Okay. Alrighty. And that should be allowing us to box up a little bit of flamethrower ammo. I don't think this is going to be like a hot commodity here. I'm just going to make 2 stacks of it, and that should be plenty for a while. I'm curious to see how effective it is, though, in the tank itself. Alright, so that should be good. Our technology is coming back online now that we've finally gotten ourselves the copper back in line. You're going to notice that we are lacking quite a bit on terms of iron and steel. So our next thing that we're going to be doing before we actually start building new automation, the last resource we want to get in touch with is going to be iron. And I think there's a fairly simple solution to improve on our iron right now. We can't really increase how much we're mining because we don't have any that I know of scouted out on the map as far as new locations for iron. There's some coal over here, but I'm not seeing any iron on the map whatsoever. And so we're going to have to go for an exploration once this last 700k dries up. But, you know, the idea is at least we get into space and hopefully to Vulcanus before that becomes a major issue. And I guess maybe we have that quality iron ore that's being boxed up to fall back on for a bit. I mean, 2 steel chests worth is a decent amount as well. So we'll see. As it is, though, right now we have a lot of iron coming in, but it's not really being utilized, as you can see. There's just plenty being dropped onto here, but it's not really getting used up by these. So what we're going to be doing is moving things back, since we really just want to line things up on this vertical line anyways. And yeah, after that, it should be fine. The biggest issue I'm seeing is, of course, we have some decently full boxes of quite a few stacks of this stuff. It's going to be hard for the inventory to manage this. So I'm definitely going to want to be setting up a robo bay here in order to kind of ease this process. So as far as what I have available, I can make a robo bay with some iron gear wheels that I can pick up from over here. But I also just have a bunch of robo bays being made somewhere, and I really just need to take advantage of that more than anything. So we're going to go ahead and head back over to the east side, grab our materials, grab a stack of this stuff. Let's see here, some good solar panel action as our power demands start to grow a little bit. And for the robo bays themselves, are they all the way up here? Yes, they are. That was the end of the last episode. And is our ticket forward in a number of ways. So I forgot they stack so low, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll work with it. I do need to make sure I get rid of these as well as I make my way through. Okay, we're getting there. So back across the field, kind of taking in all that we've created, all that we've worked on so far. Now we need to look over here at the iron. If we have our nice little roboports set up properly, which ideally is connected to this network as well. Say here. See how far the logistics window goes. Here sounds great as well. We just need to make sure they have power, of course. But that'll make it so that I actually don't have to sacrifice any of my own bots and can actually take advantage of the ones that are already in the system. So 852 of them, nice. So if we wanted to, we can go ahead and put a storage chest right here for all the stuff that we're getting rid of. And then we're going to say, get on out of here, Mr. Iron. You're going to iron mining. We don't plan to empty this cargo. We plan to remove it entirely. So I'll turn off my own personal roboport. We're just going to go ahead and destroy this entire edition for the moment. Everything here. We can go ahead and make sure that this is connected with a power line after we set it up. And that'll cover everything as well. All right, so we set that up there, and a few of these here. May help to also turn this little rail chest here into an active provider chest if it is within a logistics network, which it will be now. Okay. And then once again, we will... we have the power right here, right? Just a couple of poles there. Cool. So what all this is going to mean is that we can force it to be set up on this vertical line. Here, which, as you can see on the trunks, is all lined up. Unfortunately, does seem to overlap our recently placed roboport. And for that reason, it must die. But yeah, over here, we'll set this up. They should be able to take care of business, or close to it. Some of them are running out of power. We'll have to keep distances in mind here. But yeah, we can go ahead and just put them right here. And right here. Sometimes it takes a little while for them to get it, but they will get it eventually. So you see a lot of iron being just relocated into these storage chests. I'm not sure if that's necessary. If this storage chest... Did I tell it to delete the storage chest I was planning using, or is it all full? It's all full, okay. And we'll go ahead and address that fact so they don't have to be running around so much, you know? Hopefully the next time pickup they do, we'll allow them to take care of that. Anyways, in the meantime, we're going to be setting it up so that we have our drop-off blueprint, our unloading station, right here. And it does seem like we need to find a way to line it up there without the robots getting unhappy about it. I guess we can do something like this. That'd be fine by me. And then, yeah, one way or another, we'll get it attached to the network. As far as unloading station goes, that's going to be here. You can always line it up like this by just holding the key down. That would be the best way to make sure it's all exactly where you want it to be. So now we can turn on our own personal roboports, see this light up as we kind of start feeding it into this. And the whole reason for that is now we have the space to drop this all off here and basically replicate this whole thing. So really nice and easy. Not necessarily the small electric poles. We'll make sure that we're using substations or mediums. But yeah, we're not going to replicate the steel line because we're not currently taking full advantage of that. But we are going to be replicating the full iron line. Right now, it's just these in the middle that are the iron line. And then these ones are going to be feeding the steel. Okay. I'm kind of happy with where we're at right now for steel, but we can always use more in the future. So I wouldn't hate it if we kind of went for an alternative. Okay, they're not really using the storage chest the way that I had hoped. Obviously, the personal logistic bots are going to be doing that, but like, come on, guys, we got to figure out an alternative here. We can't just keep shoving in my pockets. It's not going to work. If I make it so that no, it's just going to fill the trash slots under those circumstances. I basically need logistic bots is what it comes down to. So I currently don't have any logistic bots in the system. This is a logistics problem, so we need to get those. Robotic frames being in the right. But for now, quick solution is drop all this stuff off here and move on. Okay. We do not have enough space to do this, so we're actually going to be doing it over here. Hopefully that won't cause a bunch of problems, but we'll see. As long as they're all connected, that's the goal here. And now we can go ahead and, at the very least, duplicate this line here. And see, these are the iron ones. Yeah, we'll do the full steel line, and then we'll do electric for the top and bottoms. So you'll see here, it all lines up. We do have the storage chest in the way once again, but that'll just hurt us one single unit instead of like all of them. So we'll go ahead and take care of business there. Coal is not actually needed in this line unless these are non-electrical, which is not really what I'm going for right now. So one question is, do we have more electrical furnaces, or do we not have that set up just yet? Important inquiry for sure. I know that we were planning on automating them, but I think that was one that got left off the list. So yeah, we'll have to go ahead and make sure that we have the materials to at least craft them quickly. Stone break, advanced circuits, etc. If we head on over here, we can see that. All set up here. All right, and that will be capped off by steel. So go ahead, dive into this here. Can always use more green circuits, never hurts. I believe there was another vehicle over here, so we'll go ahead and tap into that. Not find path to destination. So what's your problem? You have plenty of fuel. Oh, I broke your entire thing. I destroyed your entire world. That's your problem. Oh, can we repair this, or is this damaged forever? Okay, good. Even if it is a wrecked spaceship, I would like the idea of keeping it intact where I can. Alrighty, some sentimental value. The thing that put me on this rock with nothing but bugs and time. Alright, driving back up here. Yeah, we're in the process of clearing out all the electric furnaces. It does take about 5 seconds pop, so the time adds up, but the idea is that gives us plenty of time to reset the power situation. So we're going to go ahead. We don't have another deconstruction planner, so we'll use this one. What we're going to say is we want to get rid of our small electric poles as well as our medium electric poles. And that way we can just substation it, and it could be that much cleaner. That's not what I meant. Sorry, guys. False alarm there. We meant to be using the one that we just programmed, not a standard destroy everything command. You know, sometimes you just put in the nuclear launch codes and then just say, oh, just kidding, don't worry about it. And that's just one of those days. And then I do have the blue inserter upgrade planner, so we'll go ahead and get rid of all these yellow inserters. That's not what we're up against right now. So let's go ahead and move the substation to this position, if I can. Let's move this here, and then his here. Cool. All right. I guess we'll just do it here for consistency. Like that. We have this weird coal setup here that does not belong. I believe that's just part of the very rightmost replication here. There's also this, so if I put these 4 right here, then I believe with my roboport turned off, I can just delete these. And they should just say, hey, it goes in here. Perfect. All right. So we'll take care of that. We'll continue doing our thing here. Suppose technically it should be here. Not that it really matters that much. And then the last one right here. Perfect. We are out of blue, so we're going to have to go ahead and grab some of those. Wow, it's just like a very interesting... Look at this wave. Look at all these guys in like this gigantic... And they scatter. Oh, that's so cool. Alrighty. Continuing to build up our electric furnace count. We were lacking the steel plates from before, so... Getting caught between a few different things. First, we're going to want this to be in the grid, so to speak, with the robo bays, which surely is on my bar by now. Come on. That'll have to do for now. And it's not in range just yet, but it will be. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so now they're grabbing all these blue inserters, sending them where they belong, which is good. I'm going to need to grab some for myself as well. In the future, this process will be a lot smoother, but right now it's kind of like getting all the logistics pieces in place. We did want steel. We did want to continue our manufacturing gig, so. Stone brick as well. All right. Keep it moving. It's almost like I should have automated this a couple episodes ago, but here we are. We have what we have. Heal again. Okay, cool. All right, now that that's just about done, we can finally look at turning on our own personal logistics and filling in any remaining blanks. Okay, one important thing, train station here, called Con. I don't think so. We're going to be going for iron unload 1. I don't believe that is the name that was used previously, but we can go ahead. Yeah, iron smelting 1. I guess that makes more sense because we are not unloading, we are smelting. In the future, those will be separate things, so I will stick with that convention. All right, and we're in. Cool, cool, cool. Alrighty then. We'll want... For sure we'll want one down here, one down here. Yeah, that'll work fine. The only thing that we're going to have to add in is a way for the iron ore to also go to the concrete line. But that is not a high priority just this second. That'll be the next thing. We do not have electric lines down here. We do need to address that. But we also just want to upgrade this entirely. So we can go ahead and change this up now. And that'll allow us to do exactly what we did before, which is run these lines here. Yeah, it looks like we missed a spot right here, but everything else is looking good to me. And the idea is we should be able to double up how long this line is because we're getting more iron from this, the line above it. This is also a mistake, just from the past copy. I don't see any other big issues, just these little ones here. This one should go here, this one should go here, and so on. All right, we're down with it. Of course, this steel was never going anywhere previously, but it's going to be going that direction soon. So we're going to go ahead and find a way to either link it here to here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and link it this direction. So let's reverse this direction. We'll need to get power to it as well. Some small issue here with the iron sticks because it wanted steel. Okay, sure. That's no problem. Just do this here. Okay, and then this guy, if we just switched it to the left filter here, clear up the inventory as best we can. Oh no. It happened again. Well, it's better than the alternative, so. There we go. All right. That will allow us to... We still don't have enough space for it, though, unfortunately. So we'll have to figure that out. Also, yeah, it's possible that these inserters are holding coal, in which case they need to be replaced. Looks like only one of those had that as the case. No, we just do -1 of those, and we just don't worry about it that much because it's really not worth the effort at this moment. So, onward and upward, we say. just shy. 682. Yeah. Sacrificed, unfortunately. Just need to keep things moving. The more you dwell on one little thing, the more problems you make for yourself. Alrighty. So steel's heading from that direction. Same thing over there. Actually, we can just bypass this entirely and not have to interact with the conveyor belts, which is nice. Cool. It was 12 before, now it's 11. I'll just fill that up right there. All right, should be fine. There's no reason this should be a splitter, right? I don't think so. And then here we go. It'll look a lot cleaner once it's a kind of dedicated setup from the beginning, instead of what this was, which was kind of an add-on. You can see even the belt work needs work. Just to keep things consistent. Alrighty. This is looking pretty good to me. This will definitely max out, next to max out what we can really pull from this iron source, so we can add an extra train if we're not getting enough, but it is going to be consuming a lot from that pool. 674k is going to be going down pretty quick. There's also absolutely no reason for coal on these lines anymore, so we'll factor that in as well. But right now, we're just going to remove these and then look into reestablishing our steel line. Guess you can grab from here. Doesn't matter too much. First and foremost, let's get the power rolling right here and here. Cool. Alrighty, that'll work fine. He's like trying to grab it, but he's too slow. Oh, this poor guy. Red belt hard. Oh, I just saw it at the last second. It's too late. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go ahead and upgrade him because we do want to, you know, occasionally box this stuff up. But, you know, I don't expect a bunch of iron to just be sitting around waiting for the pickup. It's 5 times. No, we did the math before. It's the same amount. They do the same rate because it takes 5 times as long. So as we continue to push this stuff out of the way slightly more each time, we can go that route. Perhaps like that. And then turning off our logistics, we'll go ahead and get those removed. So the idea would be then we would finalize this by expanding this last little bit here. believe we can remove this big electric pole. Yeah, everything seems to be connected naturally, at least with this right here. Alright, so this guy didn't get what he wanted. And we'll go ahead and fix that now. Now there's a problem. It's all good. Solved it. Make a problem, solve a problem, no big deal. Thought I got both halves of that. Did not. But that should do it just fine. Wonder why this is offset by 1. Oh, because the middle here, it's supposed to be more like this. Okay. Let's say this. And then you set it up like that. Okay. That will keep things moving the right way. Yeah, that was kind of bothering me why these guys were not lined up. So we can always fix that pretty easily. Let's see here, yep. There we go, and cut off that last one there. That didn't make any sense. Perfect. So yeah, we're -1 down here, but everything else seems fine. We can always attach that one here if we need to. And that should cover everything. Wait 5 seconds, and we can actually just throw these in right now. It'll be fine. Alright, I think at this point we can call it good. We have a big iron line, we have a big steel line, and it's all going through. Filling up the reds, nice and easy. I think the only question would be, do we want to make it so that we can guaranteed fill out this red line as much as possible? Like, are these guys going to be waiting? I think is the question. You can always do something like this to make sure that you have that potential possibility covered. And then you would set it here, I believe. But you still need to connect it to the other output line. It's the only trick to it. So we could say like here instead. Yeah, further down is always going to be better. Now, why isn't it putting anything on it? Is it I did not start the splitter, or we just stopped getting iron ore? Okay. So we exhausted all our iron ore. We definitely need to get more trains, that would mean. So I'm going to make a copy of this train here as the game plan. So we'll go ahead. I have the materials to copy this train. What I need to do is... How do you copy a train? You wouldn't download a car. Why would you download a train? I've definitely seen people copy trains, so I'm going to take a second to figure that out. Alright, I'm not sure if this is the way that other people do it, but what you can do is you can use a blueprint, select all the entities, check the train box, uncheck that. Fuel, I guess, isn't as necessary, but you want some fuel at least. Let's just do this as is, and then we'll put it here behind the rail line. Put this one back on automatic, so I can go ahead and do its job. And then if we can just put a little bit of fuel to get this guy started. Well, he probably will hit the interrupt immediately, which is not ideal, but as long as he makes it to his destination, it'll be okay. Oh, he doesn't have an interrupt. Why not? Get that interrupt. Okay, so he's going to wait his turn. Do you not have an interrupt? Why not? I thought I set this for all of them, but I probably didn't confirm it for a few. So yeah, we'll see if this guy runs out of coal for no reason, or if this one's going to be fine. It says he has 7. He'll be fine. Assuming the pieces all work together. So he's got his interrupt. I feel like there's a way to cycle between trains too, but it's fine. I think that counts for all the trains. Anyways, there's biters. Whoa, okay. It's time to bring out the tank again. What are you guys doing around these parts? Did not expect that. That's okay. Did not bring a lot of flamethrower ammo, but at least a little bit will let us know if it's worthwhile. And let's go. Man, I did not expect them to just hop in here. They weren't anywhere nearby before. That I saw anyways. Maybe we need more radar vision this direction. Wouldn't mind it. I think we already put some down here, but either way. Yeah, there's one right there protected by the turrets. Alright, well, let's do some offensive protection. Alright, flamethrower. Ah, that's not as cool as I thought it would be. That thing's big. With the base ammo, it's not doing that great. Let's go back to the grenades. There we go. Alright, send some big slugs at them. Jeez. Alright, these things are well defended. This is not a small hive. Robot to heal the robot. Perfect. And here we go. Yeah, we really need to take down these worms. The big worms. Where we can. Look at this biter. It's having fun to eating some grenades right now. It's kind of crazy. I should guess cannon those. But soon we can hit the spawners, and then it'll all work out fine. Yeah, we do have laser turrets unlocked, so this is the kind of thing that it's close enough to a power supply. I probably should have just brought the laser turrets with me. All right, yeah, cannon saves the day. Cool. Yeah, it's important to bob and weave, even though you don't have the movement speed to really fully take advantage of the mechanic of changing directions. You still can make a difference with how many of these worm shots actually connect with you. And the last one. Cool. Whew. That was a group. Alright, looks like we're doing okay still on our bot count. But yeah, they seem to have just kind of continued to expand from that direction. And we can expect a lot more of that. Did we leave our robot behind? Or did he just not finish? Okay. Repairing. Alrighty. So, now we're at an interesting point where we want to be carting in for our next build concrete and some other stuff. And I'm thinking that means we need to be building the concrete at the appropriate location. The tricky thing is, like I said before, it requires iron ore. And that means that we should be building it at a very specific location, because iron ore should not be running around our factory. Iron ore, stone brick, water. Well, we have stone brick here, and I have water here, and I have iron ore here. So it makes sense that I should be taking what I can and bringing it on down. I don't think I need a massive amount of iron ore, but certainly, you know, a noteworthy amount. We could theoretically ship it down through a new train system, but it really doesn't feel like that's necessary. So as long as I have some belts in inventory, which I certainly do, we're just going to go ahead and put this into our little train system here. Turn it the other way. I think we could probably just actually feed it this way. Clear up that. Gotta get the pump, but we can always pump water up this direction as well. Make sure I didn't mess anything up too bad. There, it just took a little while for this delivery to come in. So yeah, double check on our other iron train. He's loading up right now. It is going to take a little time for him to get that full cargo inventory. I was going to say I want bulk inserters here, but it's really not that issue. You can see here the conveyor belt's not full. It's just about, you know, how long it takes to pull all this up right now. It's quite a bit. All right, laser shooting speed, space platform, all this stuff. We're getting into it slowly, but really there's only so much further we have to go. These are all kind of like extras. We'll get there when we get there. I actually think that it probably was ill-advised to do this when I can just pump the water. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of bringing in down 2 items when you can bring down 1? We're gonna have to bring down, you know, this stone brick as well. And so it should really be meeting over here more so. Does that not work? Okay, we'll do it here. All right, and get that sorted. So right now I'm going to grab an offshore pump, assuming that I have the materials. Please tell me that I do. They're not that complicated. It's just a bit of iron. And by getting a little bit of water sent on up, we can get this concrete rolling. Yeah, we do want to bring it all the way up there. So here and continue. Yeah, you can make it here and we can always adjust. Alrighty. And then I did make a little factory plan here. We can take a look at it while this is going on, assuming it's not slowing us down. And you can see here that we do have a certain amount of concrete we're going to need in order for this to work. I don't know if concrete... Yeah, concrete isn't in the other piece, but it is going to be this one here. This is just a one-off, so we're not going to need this to constantly run. But it does say, you know, we should try to fuel 2 assembling machines if you're going to be getting the rate that you're looking for. And of course, because we are also looking for refined concrete, that 1.3 double to 2.6 ran up to 3. Let's do 3 machines and see if we can try to provide something close to that amount. Not sure that we can, but it's worth a shot, right? Okay. So what we can do here is we can... Yeah, I was wondering why that wasn't coming through. A stone brick, concrete, just double checking. Stone brick, concrete with iron ore and water. Cool. So let's do red and do it right here in between these two. So we need 5 spaces. We need 3 machines. And then we can do the red out here, unless we want it closer to the train tracks. I'll do it out because... No, because we want to ship it. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Cool. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing the refined concrete part of it, which is right here. But we'll need steel as well as iron plates. And I'm thinking we could just ship the concrete to the location that we're building over here that already has water to it. So we'll do all that first. Gonna go ahead and set these all up. And then they're gonna be asking for water, which we then need to rotate here. Perfect. Or sometimes you like to do it that way instead. Either way, that should do it. I don't see any problems with any of this regarding like the speed of insertion. And then we'll just need to make sure that it gets to what ends up being another loading station immediately after. So I'm curious if this one would work, but I believe this just looks cleaner. If you look at the chunks, that'll kind of paint the picture, maybe? Okay, yeah, you have this much space. So yeah, we'll just start it at the chunk. Keep it all even. And then, yeah, this just needs to go all the way up there. So I'm happy to line it up with this one here. And then just set them on their separate paths later on. Having trouble lining it up there, but there we go. We got it. So another use for concrete, or another use for iron ore is to make the concrete. And then we can just bring it along here to wherever it may need to go. And we just need a little bit of electricity for it, right along here. And we'll make our own little train for it, which we do not have since we did burn our last engine units on our last train system on the duplicate iron. So backup train is gone, but the important thing is these things are rolling. Even though they're weird ingredients, they are going to be able to pull from the different provider sources, and we can restock those a little bit more reasonably. A few things I want to adjust as we are kind of getting closer to the end of our time here on the episode. I definitely wanted to try to get part of the build that we're talking about here a little bit started, getting rocket parts, getting rocket silo materials, and making that push to space is definitely our goal. But it is going to be the big one that we really focus on a little bit harder on our next one. We do have the refill station. That seems to be working well. No more complaints from our trains so far. And, you know, we are feeling a lot safer in terms of biters activity. We'll see if that holds up, but at least for now. Engine units galore right here, so we can go ahead and just pick up those. For some reason, I thought my best option was to run all the way over to the random manufacturer that I set up over this way. Yeah, this thing right here, but we have some in our base, of course, and that's going to be our best bet. So we'll go ahead and grab those. I think all this can kind of just hop in the inventory, no problem. And then, yeah, I do want to also make some logistic bots, because I do think that clearing out this trash and being able to set up some requests so that they're always filling me when I'm anywhere near the robots is going to be very helpful. So, yeah. One issue is probably our oil is offline right now because I said that I wanted to set it up a little bit differently. Trying to think if I want to bring it online right now. It's definitely slowed down our science to a crawl. The fact that I'm not currently hooking it up. All right, what we'll do is we'll just make it so that any excess flows in. We're going to go ahead and make one of those pumps again. This time attaching it to this system with a conditional. Now, where was that light oil going? It was going here, right? Yes, that's right. So if I go ahead and just make sure, first of all, that it has power, and then it has a red line connecting these two, we're going to say that it's active if we're at 24,000 light oil. Enable. It should be under a fluid, right? Light oil. It says it's currently 25,000. We want it to be 24,500 in order for it to be active. So it should be active now, and as soon as we start burning through our light oil to a point where we're actually losing the stored amount, then it is going to automatically turn off. Is the idea. Right now, though, it's going in. It should be providing it. Disabled by control behavior. I don't believe that is right. Pipeline contents 29, storage tank contents 25. Maybe I should bring it down a little bit, or maybe... Okay, so why wouldn't it be on right now? Disabled by control behavior. Does disable light oil is less than 23K. I want it to be greater than, right? That's the issue. Okay. Okay. I think it just defaults to less than. I didn't even look at the symbol in the middle, but now it's disabled by control behavior because we have pumped it. So it's going to pump occasionally. It's going to like turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. And that's going to be good because it's never going to cap out and not be able to use the refineries, but it's also not going to use this amount that we are reserving for other things, which is going to be light fuel. Like basically the setup here, this rocket fuel is what we're going to be creating a setup for. Again, though, we want to try to clear that inventory out, so we're going to go ahead and look at these flying robot frames. See where they are going. It looks like they're being removed onto this line here and being turned in whenever possible to construction bots. We're going to be making a few of our own logistic bots and putting them into the system here is the idea. And then gradually they should be able to help us out with some storage issues. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have some storage chests nearby so they don't have to run too far. Not seeing them right now, so let's go ahead and make some. There they are. All right, we'll just do that. So, grab some of these little bots, make them pretty quick, and drop them off in here. So now the logistic bots are still in our, what we have listed as trash. We do definitely need to adjust what we have so that we are actually getting rid of trash and not treasure. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is going to be something that I can utilize with the personal logistics to actually give me supplies when I'm starting to run low, which is going to be important for me in the long run, instead of just playing in the boxes all day. So, it'll be a long-term progress thing, even if it does mean saying goodbye to our extra logistics slots, or extra inventory slots, effectively. Once we get the next armor, we'll get more inventory to work with as well. So, all in all, it should work out fine. What are they doing, though? I feel like they just grabbed some medium... They just... Why... I don't actually understand the logic for these guys, but they just decided those fast transport belts had to go in that storage chest instead of this one. And I cannot... Is it because it wants to complete a stack? I bet that's it. So I bet there were already red belts in that chest from before. And it said, well, let's go ahead and fill that out to 200. And we'll worry about... 24. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. That will waste a lot of our time. We just don't have. So we're going to make sure that we have our concrete train set up. I think that was the idea. And then bring it over to another area that we can work with. And we'll worry about our inventory restocks after that. So as far as our trains go, we have this. We need to get some wagons. That's going to require some steel, which again is something that we can be requesting in the future. Have a nice big box. For the moment, though, we'll just grab it off the line where we need to. And continue to watch the robots do their work. So why is our steel... Is it just because the iron ore in general is flowing so infrequently? Because we do have 2 trains doing what they can. But I think what you're going to see is that it's not really an issue of if the train... Like how frequently the trains are running. This train is just sitting here. It's not an issue of like frequency of getting from these boxes over to these boxes. It's just a mining... the overall quantity that we're mining is not keeping up with our demand. And that would be fixed if we could just scan out some new iron, but it looks like we're going to have to actually hit the trails and find it ourselves. So I might do that offline and see what we can see. But for right now, we're doing all right. So next up for me, we've got the concrete in here. We've got enough for the second cargo wagon. Yeah, we have 3 cargo wagons now, my bad. But we'll go ahead and set that up right here. And name our train station, which we want to be able to see for some reason. We'll go ahead, that's the locomotive. We want the train station. Stone brick pickup. Well, we copy pasted, so it's not too surprising that it thinks it's stone brick pickup, but it's actually concrete pickup. And we'll want to go ahead and give it the coal refuel interrupt if it needs coal, but ideally it won't because we're dropping in 150. So it's going to fill up. I think it's a little ambitious to say when full. Yeah, I think that I don't want to say when it's full it'll be at this location, because that would assume that we are in fact, you know, filling these 2 wagons full of it, which eventually we'll get there. It's just going to take a while. So for right now, I would rather say either when the cargo is full or after, you know, 120 seconds has passed. And we just won't put a time limit on the other side of it. Once we actually get a concrete drop off. Now, you might think this is a bit excessive because I'm probably going to bring the concrete like over here, but you know, it works with the system I have in place, and I think it's good to keep practicing with it. And we'll keep those in there. Energy shield. Alrighty, well, it looks like we are just about coming to the time limit here, so at least the personally imposed time limit. So I believe that we are going to be just setting up this receiving train station for concrete and most likely calling it a night from there. But we are going to be well set up to, with all the resources other than a little bit of iron, which we still have, you know, a good amount of iron flowing in. We have basically the full patch. It's just that patch is only going so far. Regardless, though, we're going to go ahead and put in one last piece here and say that's going to be it for us. We're going to go to our blueprints, our unloading station. And usually I've been doing it on the closest path, but I think this one, it's going to make more sense to do it here. So what we're going to want to do is, I think here, technically we've learned that that doesn't give enough space, so here is actually going to be the best location for it. But if you look at the map, we're kind of wanting it a little bit higher. So I'm going to use this chunk as a reference point and actually start it right here. And with the concrete here, we can build a lot of stuff, actually. So let's go ahead and put those pieces together here. Okay, I'm going to need some of them steel chests, which does highlight our steel issue even further. But it's going to be okay. As far as the name for this one, it is going to be concrete drop-off or unload for some consistency. And that is going to be where our friend here ends up going next. So if I look at his route, I'm actually curious if he does like a spin around here and goes up and spins around here, or if most likely I would say he's just going to go around that way. But we'll see what makes the most sense for him. This is stone brick. My bad. This guy. Okay, he's already facing this direction, so he's probably going to go this route. But we'll see. Concrete unload. And he's on manual right now. We'll give him the automatic. The timer has not elapsed, but let's go ahead and just see what happens. So he's going to go all the way up and then spin around at this roundabout and come back down here. And then most likely do the same thing at this roundabout. So we'll just use those two junctures, which are currently relatively unused. So that's cool. Let's get some steel. Or do we just want to do iron chest for these? Because really, we're not looking to bank a steel chest full of concrete. Clear all that out while we can. And yeah, continue to expand the Roboport network. It's going to be great. Looks like this is perfect. And then right here would be the next best thing. Yeah, cool. I probably should just set that up so I know exactly the distance here and just kind of duplicate that effect here and so on. We want to make it as easy as possible to kind of build this stuff out, and yeah, continue to expand the robotics side of it is going to be a great way to do that. So if we think about it that way, I can think, let's say right here. There will be a little bit of redundancy here, but the idea is that we can then make sure we have electrical connections to everything we need in this general sector. So is this already covered up? I can't really tell. Yeah, there's not enough right here, so we'll do that. We can always move these up and down a little bit, adjust as we need to, but this is just a general workflow for making sure that we don't have to fuss with all the little bits and bobs on the electrical side, on other aspects to it. And then when we make the refined concrete here in a little bit, then we can go ahead and just lay that down as well. And that's going to look nice. All right, so we're starting to look like a factory, starting to expand our ability to build and produce at a larger scale. And that's all good things. It'll look a lot more, I think, at the end of tomorrow's episode, we're going to be looking so much more like a factory. It's going to be crazy. But at least for the moment, we're going to have to take our time. I'm going to set up the personal logistics stuff. I might do some scouting for iron. We'll see. Just as a reminder, I'll go ahead and put a radar down here, because oftentimes I'll forget that is kind of a key thing. Visibility on everything going on is important. So let's see here. Actually not sure where the nearest radar is, but yeah, you see our vision is actually limited right around here. So I think it's probably best we just do this, as well as a couple of turrets. go from there. And then we have the continuation of the electricity over this way if we want it. We'll just keep everything on this side of the tracks for now, but, you know, all too soon we're going to be needing more and more space. The factory must grow. But it's grown quite a bit just in the short few episodes, relatively speaking, that we've been active here, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to grow that much more and grow off this planet here in the very near future. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I've said before, if you want to support the channel, great way to do that is just to hit the like button on the video or subscribe on the channel. Or honestly, personally for me, the best thing is just to leave a comment. I love hearing feedback, good, bad, different ideas of how to do things. Everybody has their own idea of how to make things better. And I definitely acknowledge that I'm not the best player out there. So plenty of room to learn, to grow, to change. And hopefully we can all grow together. Till that next time, thank you for tuning in and have a good one.